Hello and welcome to the relationship section of the National 5 video tutorials. Today we're going to talk about straight lines in the form y equals mx plus c. Okay, so let's talk about what m and c actually mean. M is the gradient, and it can be found using the formula m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And c is the y-intercept, basically meaning where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so let's have a look at this line and see if we can figure out what its formula is in terms of y equals mx plus c. Alright, the first thing we need to do is we need two coordinates from that line. So I'm going to use 0, 3, which is a nice easy coordinate to pick off. And I'm also going to use the coordinate 9, 9, which also lies on that line. 0, 3 will be my x1 and my y1. And 9, 9 will be my x2 and my y2. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out what the gradient is. M is equal to y2, which is 9, minus y1, which is 3, over x2, which is 9, take away x1, which is 0. That means that my gradient is 6 over 9, or if you spot that these are both in the 3 times table, we can divide through by 3 and we get 2 over 3 as my final answer for the gradient there. The y-intercept's much easier to find. All we need to do is look at our diagram. I'm going to circle the y-intercept here. There we go. The line crosses over the y-axis at the point 0, 3. So our c value is going to be 3. So c is equal to 3. Right, so we have our information. We've got that the gradient is 2/3. We've got that c is equal to plus 3. So our final answer is that y is equal to 2/3, that's our gradient, times x, plus on our y-intercept 3. And that's it. That's how you find the formula for a straight line. Okay, so here's an example from a diagram that's a bit more complicated. It uses some negative numbers. So first of all, I'm going to write down my y equals mx plus c. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out which coordinates I'm going to use to find my gradient. In this case, I'm going to use 0, 2. I know it's not written on there, but it's clear that that line passes through 0, 2 on the axis. And I'm going to use 6, negative 4. Okay, so this is my x1, my y1, my x2, and my y2. So my gradient is going to be y2 minus 4, take away y1, which is 2, over x2, which is 6, take away x1, which is 0. Giving me an answer of minus 6 over 6, or if you realize they both divide by 6, minus 1 over 1, which is just minus 1. Our y-intercept can be figured out by looking at the diagram. I've already looked at it and figured out that it was 0, 2, so our c value is 2. And to finish this off, all we need to do is put our information into the form y equals mx plus c, so our final answer is y equals negative 1 is our gradient, x plus 2. You could always write that as y equals negative x plus on 2, without writing the 1. Okay? Here are a few examples for you to have a look at. The first one will have a positive gradient because it's sloping up from left to right. Second one will have a negative gradient, so it'll be sloping down from left to right. Okay, pause the video now. I'll give you the solutions in just a couple of seconds. Okay, so for the solution on the left hand side, you should have found that the gradient was 2 over 7, that the y-intercept was 6, so your final answer is y equals 2/7 of x plus on 6. And for the second one, you should have got a gradient of minus 4 over 3, and a y-intercept of -4. So your final answer is y equals -4 over 3x minus 4. In some instances, you will be asked to get the equation of a straight line by using coordinates alone without a diagram. This is reasonably easy because you've been given the y-intercept here, so it crosses the y-axis at 5, and you've also been given another coordinate to find your gradient with as well. Okay, so the first step is going to be m equals y2, which is going to be 8, take away y1, which is going to be 5, over x2, which is 11, take away x1, which is 0. So we've got 3 over 11 as our gradient. Our c value is going to be 5, as we said earlier, because 0, 5 is on the y-axis. And the final part of this is just to put our information into the form y equals m, which is going to be 3 over 11, x plus on c. Okay, that's your final answer for that. On occasion, they'll try and make it a little bit more difficult for you by adding in negative numbers as well. In this instance, again, we have our y-intercept. We've got another coordinate to work out our gradient with. So it's just the same process, but I want to just go through this with you just to make sure that these negative numbers don't cause you trouble. Okay, so the first part of this is m equals y2 minus y1, so minus 8 minus -3. That's a difficult part, this. And then x2 minus x1 is 6, take away 0 again. So minus 8 subtract -3, that's the same as minus 8 plus on 3 over 6 take away 0, which is minus 5 over positive 6. That's our gradient. Our c value is given to us in the question is minus 3. And the final part of this is to put our information into the form y equals mx plus c. So our final answer will be y equals -5 over 6 x take away 3. There you go. Okay, so here are two examples for you to have a go at. The first one contains just positive numbers, should be reasonably straightforward for you. The second one involves negative numbers, might be a little bit more difficult. Okay, pause the video now and I'll put on the answers in just a second. Okay, so your solutions to these problems are, the gradient for the first one is minus 3 over 2, making the formula for the straight line minus 3 over 2x plus on 7, and the gradient for the second one is 3 over 7, making the final equation y equals 3 over 7x minus 5. Finally, if you'd like some more examples on straight line to improve your abilities, have a look at these past paper questions. Remember, they can all be downloaded for free from the SQA website. Just go to the past paper section and you'll find them there. Okay, thanks very much. Thanks for watching.